All right, so if you're building with AI, you've definitely run into this problem. You create this powerful, amazing AI agent, but how in the world do you prove it's reliable? I mean, it's not like old school software where the same input always gets you the same output. In this explainer, we're going to unpack a testing framework that's built for this brand new, kind of unpredictable world of AI. Let's get into it.
So, picture this. You've built an incredible AI agent. It's smart, it uses tools, but, and it's a big but, it only works sometimes, right? This inconsistency is the absolute core of the problem. So how do we move past just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best and actually start engineering for real reliability? And here's why the old rulebook just gets tossed out the window. Traditional software is predictable. It's deterministic. You put one thing in, you get the exact same thing out, every single time. But AI agents? They're a whole different animal. They're creative. They're almost organic. You can give them the same prompts, and they might find a bunch of different, totally valid ways to solve it. So you can't just check the final answer anymore. You have to understand the journey it took to get there.
So how do we build a safety net for all this creativity? How do we bring a little order to this, let's be honest, kind of chaotic new world? Well, the answer is a really smart, structured approach called the three-tier testing pyramid. It's a framework that was designed from the ground up just for AI agents. It's built in 3 layers, and each one has a very specific job. At the very bottom, that's your foundation. That's where we test all the individual parts, making sure the agent's tools are sharp and they actually work. In the middle, we check to see how it uses those tools together to get a task done. And then right at the very top, the peak of the pyramid, that's the ultimate sanity check, where we bring in a real human to evaluate the whole experience.
And this breakdown is absolutely key. Look at the trade-offs here. At the bottom, Tier 1, your component tests are fast and cheap. You can run thousands of them automatically to catch any basic problems. But as you move up that pyramid, the tests get slower and they get more expensive. Why? Because you're testing for something way more nuanced. It's not just did it work anymore, it's was the way it worked any good. And you for sure need all 3 to build a truly reliable agent.
Okay, so theory is great, but let's get practical. How does this actually work in the real world? Well, we can bring this whole pyramid concept to life using a toolset called the Agent Development Kit, or ADK. It gives us the actual tools we need to put this strategy into practice. Let's see what that looks like.
To make this super concrete, let's create a little example agent. We'll call it the Bookfinder. Its brain is powered by Gemini 2.5 Pro, and it has 3 main tools it can use. It can search a local library, it can find a local bookstore, or it can order a book online. This little guy is going to be our test subject.
Now, to test this agent, we have to understand this one crucial concept. It's called the trajectory. And this isn't just about the final answer. The trajectory is the entire journey the agent takes. It's every tool it decides to call, all of its little reasoning steps in between, and the final response. It's the whole story of how it solved the problem. So, for our Bookfinder agent, if a user just says, "Get me this book," we have a desired trajectory in mind, right? A logical sequence. First, check the local library. That's the cheapest option. If it's not there, okay, try a local bookstore to support the community. If all else fails, then, and only then, order it online. This is the ideal, most efficient path we want our agent to take.
Okay, so we have the journey we want it to take. But how do we measure if the agent actually followed our plan, or at least something close to it? This is where the ADK's built-in metrics are so cool, because they let us actually put a number on it to quantitatively score the agent's performance.
So the ADK gives us 2 main ways to measure this. First, there's the tool trajectory score. This one is all about the process. It's basically asking, did the agent take the right steps in more or less the right order? And then there's the response match score, which measures the final outcome. That one asks, hey, even if the journey was a little weird, was the final answer basically correct?
So how do we use these scores? Well, for the journey itself, that trajectory, we might set a pretty high threshold, something like 0.8. This means we're being strict. We're telling it, look, for this test to pass, your process has to be really close to my ideal plan. You do this for something critical, like a financial transaction, where the sequence of steps is super important.
But for the final answer, we can be a bit more flexible. A response match score of, say, 0.5 allows for natural language variations. It means the agent doesn't have to use the exact same words we expected it to. As long as the meaning is close enough, we'll call it a win. And this brings us to a huge rule of thumb here. Resist the temptation to demand a perfect 1.0 score. Seriously. These agents are designed to be creative, to be non-deterministic. Expecting a perfect match every time is like asking a person to tell you the same story with the exact same words every single time. It's just not realistic. You have to build in some tolerance and embrace that variability. It's a feature, not a bug.
So, after all this work, what's the ultimate payoff? What do we get out of it? It's about a fundamental shift in your confidence. It's what lets you move from just kind of guessing or hoping that your agent works to truly, deeply understanding its behavior.
And this quote just says it all perfectly. By using this testing pyramid, by using these metrics, you can literally go from saying, I think this agent works, to saying, I know this agent is very reliable. And that knowledge, that certainty, is what lets you build and ship products with real confidence.
So, we've walked through the why, the what, and the how of testing AI agents. We've got a framework. We have the tools to actually achieve reliability. And that leaves us with just one final and really exciting question. Now that you can test it, what will you build?